Hi everyone, Gilliam Elliott here. Today I want to talk to you about one of the primary jobs of a medical tourism facilitator, and that's educating your clients on the medical tourism process. And what I mean by this is, as a medical tourism facilitator, you want to educate your clients on your background and your accreditations. Let them know what your experience is in the medical travel industry. A lot of times patients want to see things like certifications and accreditations on your platforms and on your website. So you want to just educate them on who you are as an individual, because patients a lot of times, they aren't necessarily buying the service from you as they are buying into who you are as an individual. You also want to let them know how your business will help them through the medical tourism process. A lot of patients who are doing medical tourism for the first time, they might not know exactly what a medical tourism facilitator's job is and how you can make their trip smoother. So you want to just explain to them exactly what it is you do, how you do what you do, and just the value that you'll bring to their overall medical tourism experience. You also want to educate them on the destinations you're promoting. Like I said, a lot of these people may not have traveled to these destinations before. And most of the times they've never traveled outside of their immediate community for medical care. So a lot of times they may have fear, they may have concerns. And so it's your job as a medical tourism facilitator to have a detailed conversation with these individuals and explain to them how you'll make sure they have the best outcomes possible. You also want to educate them on the doctors that you work with. So let them know the qualifications that the doctors you work with have. Let them know the training and the experience that the doctors you work with have. Let them know everything you can possible about the healthcare providers that they'll be working with and why they're the right fit for the procedure that they're looking for. And this is so important because patients, a lot of times, they have questions, they have concerns, and sometimes they don't outright say what their questions and what their concerns are. So it's your job as a medical tourism facilitator to really listen to them and understand and pull out of them what concerns and what questions they might have. So I want to share with you a brief story that just highlights why it's important to share the qualifications and training of the hospitals and doctors that you partner with. One of the services that we provide at Medical Tourism Business is patient leads. About a day or so ago, I was speaking to a Canadian gentleman. He was 74 years old, and he lost a considerable amount of weight. He lost about 137 pounds. And so he had a lot of excess skin. So because of this, this interferes with his daily activities. This just interferes with his overall quality of life. So in Canada, he got approved to get a surgery done to remove this excess skin. But when he went to his local surgeon, he was quoted 2 years until he can get the surgery. And so for 2 years, he's going to have to deal with this issue. And so instead of that, he reached out to us and just expressed his interest in traveling abroad. And so I spoke to him on the phone and just talked to him about the destinations he was interested in traveling to and why he was interested in traveling to them. So as our conversation neared the end, I asked him, is there any other questions that you would like to ask before we end the call? And he kind of paused for a second and he said, I'm going to travel abroad to get medical care, but one of the things I'm concerned about is the overall quality of care in these other countries. And I thought that was really important that he shared that, because if you notice, I gave him an opportunity to uncover and to share and express any concerns he might have. And if I didn't give him that opportunity by asking, hey, is there any other things that you would like me to answer for you, he probably wouldn't have disclosed this. And so qualifications is really important to these patients. And sometimes they might not express or might not know how to express exactly what their concerns are. So it's your job as a medical tourism facilitator to really try to pull out of them what concerns they have, or really listen keenly, or really listen in detail and listen closely to what their concerns are, so you can ask the right questions and so you can share with them the right answer and really find out what their deepest concerns are. And once you answer these deep concerns, you're more likely to convert them into a client. But you won't convert them into a client unless you really dig deep and you give them the space to ask you the questions that they want to ask, so you can give them the answers that they need to make educated decisions and to travel abroad for care. So that was just a short story that I wanted to share with you guys. But education is one of the primary responsibilities for medical tourism facilitators, because education is going to make your patients feel comfortable, and it's really going to make sure that they have the safest outcomes possible. If you have any other questions about starting a medical tourism agency, I'm going to leave some links in the description below. But thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.